This guy, this dude is, oh God, yeah, here we go. Grant Cardone.
Every 15-year-old kid should be doing this right now. If you're getting an allowance of $300 a month, buy a piece of real estate that pays you $30 a month. Only use the 30, don't touch the 300.
I'm gonna be a millionaire before I'm 20, and this is how.
Well, guys, today's gonna be a...
By the way, that's her daughter. That's his daughter. Yeah, a $300 real estate. Like, what are you buying, a porta potty? Who gets $300 allowance a month? That girl probably does.
Fun one. There is something strangely horrifying yet entertaining about watching a person who is unbelievably out of touch with reality proclaiming how they think the world works. It's like reality TV, but better. Now, this is something we've looked at a lot on this channel because, surprisingly, it's a pretty common thing for those who get very popular on the internet. Who would have thunk? But today, we're looking at a different kind of out of touch. Those who amass great wealth almost always become disconnected from reality and sort of lose sight of the day-to-day struggles that the average person faces. It's kind of an...
I think also, like, this isn't even true with somebody who has a lot of wealth. I think that a lot of people just don't have the same experiences as each other. And the issue isn't that, like, it isn't that somebody is wealthy, it's that somebody refuses to acknowledge another person's reality.
Inevitable. However, this doesn't always have to be a horrible thing. Sometimes all people need is to be sat down and be told, hey man, you have no idea what you're talking about. And for a lot of people, that kind of snaps them back. Unfortunately, however, that does not work for everybody, and that is going to be demonstrated here pretty thoroughly today by the TikToks of Grant Cardone. Now, if you've never heard of this guy, he's basically a glorified course salesman who made a bunch of money.
That's the real way. If you want to learn how to make a lot of money and you're Grant Cardone, here's how you actually make a lot of money. You start selling courses about selling real estate. That's the way you make the money.
From real estate. And now he spends his days in Sigma male, alpha male edits, going on TikTok and giving out the worst, most out-of-touch financial advice a human being has ever provided. To be more specific, the financial advice he gives to parents is so laughable that I had to watch about a dozen videos before I could convince myself this guy is not just playing a character. These videos are hilarious, but they're also kind of depressing at the same time. It's gonna be kind of a roller coaster today. Strap in. Let's begin.
Please subscribe. Every 15-year-old kid should be doing this right now. If you're getting an allowance of $300 a month.
Alrighty, not even 5 seconds in, and we're already beginning to see the insanity unfold. Grant, buddy, do you think the average allowance for a 15-year-old is $300 a month? If I had to pull something out of my ass, I would have to guess that the average kid gets somewhere between nothing and $10 a week. Not 75. But this...
I remember when I was in high school, I got like $20 a week. It was like 20 or maybe 30 if I was a good boy. Like, that would be it.
Is not even really that relevant because it's not even close to the craziest thing he's going to say during this clip.
Buy a piece of real estate that pays you $30 a month. Only use the 30, don't touch the 300.
But how would a young, normal person get money?
Allowance, side jobs, side hustles. I was 14 years old. I was working every weekend. I was mowing lawns, doing whatever I could to get some extra money.
All right. Grant, are you fucking insane? Genuine question. Not trying to be mean. Are you crazy? You're a real estate investor, Grant. That's your...
I actually agree with what he's saying in this clip. Whenever I was 14, this is what I was doing when I was 14. I was burning CDs and selling them. I was memorizing all of the questions out of my math tests and then putting them onto my calculator and then selling the answers to them. I was selling soda at school because we weren't allowed to have soda in school in the vending machine, so I would take it and sell it to people at a higher price. I was also selling fireworks at school. I would save up my money, and then like every 4th of July or New Year's, I'd spend a lot of money on fireworks, and I'd sell them at school. Like, I actually did this myself. I did it all the time. Yeah, for sure. Like, and I think kids nowadays, like, there's a million ways you can make money as a kid, for sure. Now, selling crack? Yeah, for sure. But it didn't really help you? I think it actually did. When you do stuff like that, you learn how to make sales, and you can, like, in a lot of cases, a lot of people aren't able to learn processes because they're not able to really make genuine mistakes in processes. But if you can make genuine mistakes in a process, you can actually figure out how to do the right thing.
thing, I know that you know this is impossible. First of all, let's play Fantasyland here for a moment and act like a 15-year-old could actually get approved for a loan to buy a piece of real estate. Sure.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like the part that's ridiculous about this is buying real estate. Obviously, as a kid trying to make money, of course you do that. Like I would also buy and sell magic cards because I knew all the prices for every card and kids at my school didn't know them. So I could like be like, oh yeah, I'll give you like $10 for all these cards. And I knew that like 2 cards in there were worth $15. So I would immediately make my money back, right? And there was like tons of ways that I would do that. I remember I would like leave class and then take people's money to buy like popcorn and brownies. And then I just wouldn't give them the change back. Like there were a million ways that I did this.
We can pretend that, I guess. You want children to go out and buy a piece of property that brings them in $330 a month while only costing $300 a month to finance. Okay, can you find me a single piece of property anywhere in the United States of America that fits that bill? That's like a $40,000 home, Grant. Can you find me a livable $40,000 home anywhere in America? Don't worry, I'll answer that for you. No, you can't. But for the sake of the argument, let's just say you could. But unfortunately for you, Grant, I'm going to take away the fact that we're living in a fantasy world back to reality.
Yeah,
a 15-year-old is not going to have any sort of credits, no assets, no collateral, so they're going to have to come up with a
They can't sign on to a contract. Like it's actually it's not even that complicated. Like it has nothing to do with any of that. A 15-year-old can't sign up for that stuff because they're not a legal adult and they can't sign a contract for these things. Like it's just like it's not even legal, right?
Payment, probably 25% for an investment property. That's 10 grand. Do you honestly believe that not only one, the average 15-year-old is getting a $300 a month allowance, but two, the average 15-year-old has 10 grand sitting in the bank? If you do, you're crazy.
I did not. I'll tell you, when I was 15, I did not have $10,000 in the bank. Yeah. Not even remotely close.
Man. And this is just scratching the surface. There's tons of other things you need for a loan. Kids don't have 2 years tax returns, Grant. Look, it's one thing if you want to make videos for children who have parents that are multimillionaires, but to say every kid should be doing this, that's so out of touch, it's kind of unbelievable.
I'm going to be a millionaire.
I do think that kids should try to make their own money, though. I do. And like if I was a parent, I would encourage my kid to try to make money in any way that like wouldn't get them like arrested, basically.
Before I'm 20, and this is how. I
Yeah,
work for my
learn the
dad's
hustle.
company. I have a
Exactly.
contract with them and I get paid every month. And that goes into real estate where I get my passive income and I get to spend that, but I never get to touch that principal. And over time, that principal in real estate will make me a millionaire.
When she does more, I'll bonus her for stuff that she does. If one of these TikToks goes to 10 million, I'm gonna give her a $10,000 bonus. So
Well, that's okay. So that's how she gets the $10,000 is like because her dad gives her $10,000. Yeah, this is like the the success routine of the youngest vice president at a local marketing firm, and it's like I wake up at 4 a.m, I do meditations, I make a journal of all the things I'm thankful for, I work out at 5 a.m, and then I come home and I make myself breakfast, and then I make sure that I watch TV and I catch up on the news, and also by the way, my dad owns the company. Okay. Great.
that 10,000 goes to buy as real estate. So she makes 50 a year. Let's say she averages 50 a year, which she will. She's doing a job, she's doing chores, she's doing work. I do not give her an allowance.
Okay, I mean, there's a lot going on here. Like I said, most of these videos are about his...
My mom would do this with me too, by the way. Is like she would give me money for lunch, but she wouldn't really give me any other extra money. And the only way that I could get money is if I did something for her or I made money off of somebody else.
Advice to parents. So most of these videos involve his kid. I'm not going to be shitting on his kid. I think she's like 15. Probably doesn't understand how out of touch the situation is. But the reason you're going to be a millionaire before you're 20 is because your dad is worth $600 million. Yeah, that's
a lot of money.
kind of the cheat code. Also, Grant, you can say you don't give your kid an allowance if you just want to make shit up, I guess.
You don't give them an allowance. You just give them $10,000 when they have a TikTok that does well. Yeah, it's totally different.
define what words mean and what not, but
Yeah.
if you give your kid $50,000 a year for doing chores, that is an allowance. Now look, I want to make this clear. I don't really have a problem with what this guy's doing. You absolutely should be investing for your children and setting their future up for them. I'm a very firm believer that if you're not willing to invest in your child's future and give them the best shot at success possible and guarantee them a better start than you had, you shouldn't be having kids. The problem is how he doesn't seem to understand how out of touch this is, while simultaneously acting like this is some groundbreaking stuff. Yeah.
Well, this is what happens a lot of times with a lot of these like alpha male internet dad people, is that they try to repackage something that's common sense as if it's like groundbreaking sigma male, like fucking alpha mentality. It's like, yeah, so when you get money, you don't want to spend all your money. So you want to get money and then keep some of the money, and then you want to use that money to buy something that's going to make you money. And people are like, "What? Wait, so I'm not, oh my God, so I don't need to buy $100 worth of Twizzlers a month? Holy shit, thank you, Grant. Thank God I'm spending $100 a month on your courses instead." That's what it's all about.
Give your kid $50,000 a year and $10,000 here and there when a TikTok does well. No shit, she's gonna be a millionaire before she's 20.
Duh.
Okay, the 50,000 times 10 years, which she will have at least 10 years, is 500 grand. If that money doubles because she never touched it, she's a millionaire. It will have paid her $300,000 in income that was not taxed, and I wrote off $500,000 of salary from the IRS. So it's a win-win.
So he's basically talking about, now we get down to the actual reason why he's doing this. He's giving his kid money because he can write the money off from his taxes. This has nothing to do with what his kid is or isn't doing. This has everything to do with how can I make it, how can I figure out how to pay less money in taxes. It's not tax evasion. It's not. It's tax avoidance, maybe. Avoidance is unethical. Evasion is illegal. That's the difference, by the way. But, yeah, no, everybody does this. Everybody tries to save money on taxes.
Win for everybody. I'm never going to give a kid an allowance for living in my house. Shit, she's lucky to live in my house.
Yeah, okay, Grant. I don't know if this is an attempt by you to be snarky and just act like money means nothing to you. It just makes you look like a douchebag. We get it. $100,000 a year is nothing to you. Can't even qualify it as an allowance.
Crazy.
I just don't understand the angle.
Parents are stupid to give their kids allowances. Here's how I get money as a
I don't agree with that. I think that it's really good to give your kid an allowance because it teaches them how to budget. Like, if you have, like, if you give your kid a certain amount of money and your kid can do whatever he wants with that money, I think that's extremely healthy.
14-year-old. Every year I'm paid a certain sum of money from the company for being an employee. This means I have certain obligations I have to fill. I have to help people out around the office. That sum of money goes and gets invested into real estate. That real estate then has passive income, and that money I get paid with every month. I get paid $150, $400 every single month and get to spend that. But I never get to spend the principal income I have. So every year that principal, it stacks on top of each other, and over time my passive income becomes more and more.
Okay, so look, I'm not doubting that that's how you and your dad have
Yes, that's the way that compounding interest works. Yep.
handled you getting money, but let's all be on the same page
Sure.
here. That is an allowance. You get money that comes from your dad because it's getting paid out by your dad.
I don't get an allowance. My dad just gives me money. Oh, man.
Company for doing chores around your dad's office. Yeah, that's an allowance. You are describing being a trust fund baby who gets an allowance. That's it. Again, nothing wrong with that. But stop trying to act like you guys are better than everybody else because you don't want to use.
The problem is that if you use this as information to give other people, you do them a disservice because other people can't have this experience that you did. So it's like, yeah, just do what I did, but you have some sort of like weird advantage that other people don't have access to.
the word allowance.
I bring home the deadbeat. He has a tattoo on his face like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
This guy, what are you doing? Like, how are you going to react?
Number one, Mike Tyson can put a tattoo anywhere he wants. That guy you're with hadn't done anything. He hadn't won one fight, much less 50.
Holy shit, what a crazy thing to say to your daughter as a father. Yeah, as long as the guy you're with beats the shit out of people, he can do whatever he wants. That's kind of a weird thing to say.
I think Grant's being facetious here. I don't really think that's what he actually means. I think he's just goofing around, to be fair.
Grant.
Okay, but what if I really love him?
I'm going to tell you, man, you bring a kid home who's got a tattoo on his face, I got a problem with that. What were you thinking?
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
What happened to you? Because all we know is
To be fair, I don't know anybody who has a face tattoo who isn't stupid. I don't know any of them, right? And it's extremely common.
this kid took and put tens of thousands of injections into his face. What thought process did he go through to decide to do that? Either did something out of one moment, or you took a long period of time to think about doing
Which
that.
one's worse?
Either way.
Yeah,
we got a problem.
don't.
And now I got a problem with you because now you fell in love with some guy
job.
that makes weird decisions.
You know what, guys? I don't really like this. This is kind of weird. But honestly, I've got to respect the hustle. Sure, I could be talking out of my ass here, but I think we all know what's going on here. Look, you have me born into a family where my dad is worth $600 million. I'm going to tell that motherfucker anything he wants to hear. Yeah, Dad, my boyfriend has a face tattoo. You should just fucking kill him. I'm not doing a single thing to mess up that inheritance. You want me to do a podcast where I agree with everything you say? Okay, sure, whatever. You gotta respect the grind.
What kind of car do you think I should get? Because I want something that is like a nice car.
I can buy her anything, by the way.
This is a great feeling. But I want something that's a nice car, but I also don't want it to be super flashy, super loud, nothing like that screams like, oh, I'm super spoiled. Just something that's like, it's a nice car. She probably comes from a good family, but that's all I want it to say.
You even said you were willing to have a used car with some scratches on it. Why'd you say that?
For sure.
Well, I'll be. What a nice young lady. You would be willing to have a free car with...
My first car was a 1998 Nissan Altima that had hail damage. My second car was a 1992 Isuzu Rodeo that had door damage, hail damage, window damage, no AC, no cup holders, mold damage, leaky sunroof. The door didn't open. I had to come in from the other side. I had to open the door in order to get my food from fast food. And I think there was some... Oh, it doesn't have a radio. Radio was damaged. Yeah, I think there was one more that I had. And so, yeah, 1992. And then I had a 2001 Mustang until recently. After you paid for it? No, I bought that car myself. It was like $1,500. The first car that my dad did buy it for me, it was like $3,000. But this was a very, very long time ago.
Scratches
I got
on
lucky
it?
in that
Holy
regard.
shit. Guys, do we have like a reward we can give her for this? Look, I'm not trying to be a douche, but come on. My first car was $200. It stopped working in 3 months. Somebody saying they'll take a free car with a scratch or two is not very impressive. Not to anybody outside of this kind of circle.
I don't want a new car. Right now, I think the car that I want is the new Toyota Land Cruiser.
Okay. How much is a Toyota Land Cruiser? I'm actually curious. Let me search this. MSRP. We are looking at a first edition between $56,000 and $74,000. That's a pretty expensive car.
What? You don't want a new car, but you want a new car? Okay, sure, whatever.
That came out. The Land Rover Defender. I like those kind of bulky cars. Like they're not quite SUVs. The G-Wagon.
See, that's what I thought. I liked it, but you don't like that car. Like, it's annoying to move it around, to get it in parking lots. Like, you think that it's good. The only thing that's good about those cars is that you can get all of your boys in the car at the same time. Like, cause like, did you guys ever have this shit happen where like whenever you were kids and like somebody had a car and there would be like 8 people in like the the sedan, right? It's like a 4-person car. There's 8 people in the car. There's like somebody sitting. There's like 2 people in the front seat, 5 people in the back seat, 1 person laying down there, and then like the cop pulls over, and you're like, everybody hide. Yeah, 2 in the trunk. That's what we used to do a lot, man. No, we never had somebody in the fucking trunk. So that was the only good thing about like having like the rodeo, right? Is we could get like 10 people in the car. It would not fucking matter, right? Like we had 2 seatbelts in the car, but we have 10 people in the fucking car. And so, yeah.
Like that kind of shape of car I like. And the Toyota Land Cruiser is kind of the same kind of shape.
Yeah, the new Land Cruiser is pretty cool looking.
The new Land Cruiser is really cool.
Car,
Okay,
yeah.
look, I have nothing against this kid for wanting a nice car. Seriously, if my parents were worth $600 million, I'd be asking for something a lot.
I don't think that you should want an expensive car, especially as a young person, because it sets you up as a mark for people that are looking to rob cars, because they assume that people who have nice cars that are extremely young don't have the value of money, and so they would break into the car and be more likely to steal out of it. I don't know how I know that. I had a friend that told me that.
Fucking nicer than a Toyota, I promise you. It's okay to want nice things when you know that money means nothing to your parents. I'm not gonna sit here and hate on this kid, but if you're being genuine, if what you're saying is true, I'm really sorry to be the one that has to break this news to you, but getting a brand new $100,000 car for your 16th birthday does
That's
in
a
fact
lot.
scream, I'm super spoiled. Hell, it announces that you're
Yes, it does. It seems like and also like I would get my kid a shitty car because I would just assume, especially if I had a boy, oh, you're gonna fuck this up. You're gonna fuck the car up. Like everybody knows you're gonna fuck it up. Like how many of you guys fucked up your first car? Like we fucked up. Like we were lighting fireworks in the car. Like there's garbage in the car all the time. Like I had people like back up into my car. I never have been in an accident before. Never. But like I remember like there was this one, like Eric had like some house party. Some drunk girl backed up into my car. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Yeah, like so many fucking problems. Yeah, I mean, like driving over the curb, fucking up the axles. Yeah, we had this happen all the time. Nope, took good care of it. Well, we didn't. Like, we never actually broke the car, but we didn't take good care of it either.
spoiled to the entire universe. The average amount of money spent on a person's first car is $7,000. And that number is only so high because car prices were absolutely demolished by COVID. A 6-figure Land Rover or a $70,000 or $80,000 Land Cruiser for a first car? Yeah, sorry, but that's spoiled.
What age
I think also it's bad to have a person as their first car because it's harder to maneuver around. Like I would want to get my kid like a small car. Like, or at least like an average size car. Like your average, like Lexus, or, if I was rich, right? And I'm like buying my kid an expensive car, it'd be like a Lexus or something like that.
I think I'll make it to $100 billion.
You could do that by the time you're 35 years old because everybody else around you is sleeping. Lazy's not the problem right now. They're indoctrinated. They're watching their phones. Their heads are going to be falling over their shoulders by the time they're 40. Any kid. You don't need to go to college. That's 4 or 5 years that you would waste. Put your head down now. Find the right vehicle or the right opportunity. Get in it. Learn everything you can about it. Not the little stuff, but the big things that make the thing grow. You could be 35. You could be one of the most influential people in the world.
The crazy thing is that this is the problem with people like Grant Cardone, is that he was absolutely spitting. Everything that he just said was completely fucking accurate. Absolutely. Yeah, he's not wrong. He was completely right about that. And that's the issue with a lot of these course salesmen, is that it's the same with Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate doesn't have 100% bad ideas. Neither does Grant Cardone. But the issue is that there are enough bad ideas that are sprinkled in there. Like, for example, like if you wanted to eat a cupcake, would you want to eat a cupcake that had shit sprinkles on it? Well, no, of course not. Well, it's only a small part of the cupcake, though. Yeah, but you don't want to eat a cupcake with shit on it, though. That's pretty much about it. Most of his ideas are bad, though. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, with this circumstance. And I think it's disappointing because, like, people do... like kind of write off everything a person like this says which I actually don't agree with, right? Pick the sprinkles
Look,
off.
I'm sure this is
now
probably
you got
just
shit
part
on
of their
your hands.
shtick, but stuff like this is so disingenuous. You heard it here first, folks. Any kid, no matter what, can have $100 million worth of assets by the time they're 35 if they just put their nose to the grindstone. The fact that this...
If you work really hard as a kid and you spend 20 years, like let's say you're 15, and you spend 20 years developing a skill set of something that's valuable and that you can monetize, you will have a tremendous degree of financial freedom if you do that and you're successful at it. Like, for example, YouTube editors, people that are good at coding, people that are good at like hacking, right? People that are good at, I don't know, like fucking anything. Like not survivorship bias. That's such a stupid way to look at it, I think. Of course, there's going to be people that do all of the right things and they don't succeed. But doing the right things increases your probability of succeeding. So you should try to do them anyway. Obviously, there are some people that work hard and they still lose. But working hard and losing is less common than not working hard and losing. It's pretty simple. Like, I don't know how you could not think like that. It's kind of a bad take, I think. So you think like working hard doesn't play any factor or any variable in like your success? That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Girl's father is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, gives her no sort of advantage whatsoever. It's just because all the other kids right now are lazy. That shit is so lame. I mean, seriously, be proud of the wealth you've created. Be proud of the opportunities you've opened up for your children and how easy you've made it for them. That's nothing to be ashamed of. Acting like who you are and what you're worth has nothing to do with the fact that your kid's gonna be a millionaire. That is something to be ashamed of.
Yeah, of course.
That's lame. Well, guys, what do you think? Are you motivated? Are you ready to go out and buy a house for 36 pennies a month and become...
No, but I might be motivated enough to buy his course, which is why he's actually making the TikToks.
a millionaire by the time you're 11.
Reason.
If not, that's fine, I guess.
That's
but Grant
where we're
Cardone
really
did tell me
going.
that he'd hate you, so you're going to have to live with that. I can't wait for all the finance bros to invade the comment section of this video telling me I'm just jealous, I don't see the vision. I would genuinely rather die with $0 in my bank account than ever buy a course from one of these goofballs. It's called not being a dumbass. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and walk on over to that subscribe button and touch it. It's free. It won't cost you anything. But for now, that's all I have for you today. Bye.
Yep. I think in a lot of cases, you see a new RuneScape drama. No, I'll look at that. Give me a second. Let me take a look at it. But I'll link this video to you guys. I thought this was kind of funny. August the Duck. I've never seen one of his videos before, but I agree with a lot of what he's saying here. Is like people that like to ascribe like what their success is to like I'm working hard. The fact is, terrible video. I don't think it was terrible. I like the I like the focus on this stuff because I think that there should be more of an emphasis put on people that are trying to sell like solutions like this. I'm very much not a fan of it, and I think that the people that are doing things like that are doing it in a way that is it's misleading and it's delusional. Out of touch? Yeah, I think it's out of touch as well. And I think also like as a kid, I would want my kid hustling however they could. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Try to do whatever you can to make money. Because if you're not going to do that, then like you're not going to, maybe you won't have as much money as you want. Absolutely do it. Yeah, 100%.